This is FYI on your TV, brought to you by Hometown News. I'm Kathy Botham, and I've got my guest host, my co-host back with me, Robbie Hall. How you doing, Robbie?
I'm very well, thank you.
We just got through September. We've got our first, I think this is our third show for season 9. And smooth sailing, you've been here every week. And you've got a special guest with you again today. Over to you.
My guest today is Smith Falls Fire Prevention Officer, Lieutenant Jason Smith. Thank you for joining us again today. Fire Prevention Week is coming up in October. Can you tell us the date for it this year?
Yeah, so this year Fire Prevention Week starts off October 6th to the 12th.
This happens every year. The theme this year is smoke alarms. Make them work for you. Why is having a smoke alarm important for everyone?
So working smoke alarms is vital for anybody in the event to notify you, to allow you time to escape a fire when a fire happens.
Is this the law to have a working smoke alarm? How to make sure this happens?
Yeah, so it is the law to have a working smoke alarm in your residence. We make sure this happens in a multiple ways. So first of all, we try to educate the public. As a lot of you might have received in your mail this week, it was Saved by the Beat brochure that went out for a campaign pledge to test your smoke alarms. I think that was on September 28th. We tried to reach out to 4,500 homes here in Smiths Falls to make sure our residents of Smiths Falls was educated. The next one is home inspections. So, we try to get into homes to do home inspections. So if a resident calls us and asks if they have a problem with their smoke alarm or have any questions, we try to get over and do an inspection of their residence and make sure they do have working smoke alarms. Anytime we respond to a call, before we leave a residence, we'll make sure that their smoke alarms, along with their CO alarms, are all in working order before we do leave. In the event that they don't have a working smoke alarm or CO alarm, we will, as the fire department, leave one with them on a loaner basis and then follow up with them in 24 hours to make sure they went out and purchased a new smoke alarm or a new CO alarm. And the last and final one, which we don't like to have to do, is enforcement. So what I mean by that is we will issue tickets for missing smoke alarms, tampered with. So if landlords have tenants and the tenants take them down, remove batteries, well, in that case, now we're issuing tickets back to the tenant and the landlord because they didn't provide working smoke alarm. We don't like to go that route, but if we have to, to get the message across or the point across, we will.
On September 28th, it was Test Your Smoke Alarm Day. We got a permit in the mail last week with all the information about smoke alarms. What should we do to make sure our smoke alarms work properly?
So there's a multiple different things to make sure you have working smoke alarms in your homes, Robbie. First of all, follow the manufacturer's instructions. Make sure you have a working smoke alarm on every level, so first, second, third, and your basements. The other thing is to ensure that you're testing your smoke alarm monthly, that it's working for you. So by pushing the test button and just making sure that it alerts and goes into an alarm. The other one that we always recommend is your batteries. A lot of them have batteries in them. So we always say spring and fall, so at least twice a year. We like to say twice a year, but minimum once a year annually to make sure that batteries are functioning. The other big one is when you're testing your smoke alarm annually, even take your vacuum and vacuum them out, or take an air compressor and blow them out, because smoke alarms collect dust just like your house collects dust on furniture, right? And if you get dust or bugs or different bugs and spiders get into your detectors, make great homes for them, but they can also false sense. So then you get kind of used to your smoke alarm going off. So when the event that it is required, you're thinking it's a false alarm again, and it doesn't alert you the way it should. And just ensure that most smoke alarms have a 10-year life expectancy, so 10 years. So if it comes to the time when you're testing your smoke alarm and it doesn't function, check the date, make sure it's within the 10 years. If it's outside of 10 years, they do need to be replaced.
There are many ways we can help prevent a fire. Can we talk to a couple information we could do to prevent a fire?
Yeah, that's a good topic. You could have me here all day talking about preventing fires in your residence. A couple of quick ones. Nowadays, people have your cell phones, your iPads, and stuff like that. So we have to be cognizant to charging those. They have a tendency to overheat. So when you're using your cell phone or your iPads or your laptops, make sure you're not leaving them laying in your bed as they're charging, because they could explode. Batteries can overcharge and overheat and spontaneously combust different fabrics. To go along with that is the other one is extension cords. People like to plug their phones into extension cords. Again, if you need to use an extension cord in your home, make sure it's not frayed. Ensure it's not under a carpet. Make sure it's not under the blankets or your bed. Don't plug appliances. So when I say appliances, so don't plug your fridge into an extension cord, because again, extension cords are temporary wiring, and in the event that you need to plug in a fridge, make sure it has a direct plug-in to an outlet. Again, people are buying cords that aren't properly grounded, and then tendency to short out, not buying proper rated cords that have proper rated amperage. So again, an appliance may draw a lot of amps, and the cord can't take that, so they break down and they do catch on fire. To move along with that is cooking in your home. Last year was cooking, watch what you cook, was the campaign last year for fire prevention. And again, we just want to remind residents, when you're in the kitchen, pay attention to what you're cooking, be alert, ensure everything around your stovetop, so your lovely mitts, there's oven mitts, dishcloths, paper towel, different utensils. Make sure you have space from the cooktop when you're cooking, because those things, even though they're there to help you and assist you to take stuff off the stove, they also can catch fire.
Or in.
Yeah, or in the fire. Yes, exactly. And if you are tired or sleepy or consumed alcohol or have medications, it's not a good time to be cooking. The other thing with cooking is ensure that you have a proper fitting lid for your pots. So in the event if your food did catch on fire, you can actually slide your pot or your lid over on top of your pot, move it off to the side, and then slowly take it off once it's cooled down. So those are a couple of quick ones to catch for you.
Why is it important to talk about smoking alarms with everyone in the family?
So first off, we all need to understand smoke alarms are on guard for us 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And we need to make sure they're working, because there are early warning devices to get us out of the house and make sure we're safe. So we need to be cognizant to that, and ensure that we have them get out and just stay out.
What should we do if our smoke alarm goes off?
So I would really hope and expect that everybody's having a discussion about their home fire safety escape plans. If it's, first of all, have those conversations with your kids and your family to follow that you have 2 ways out of your home. So hopefully you're following what's in your fire safety escape plan. And when you hear the alarm go off, get out, stay out, call 911. Don't go back in for anything. Pets, don't go back in. Try and corral them out the door as you're going out, but don't go back in for them. But get out, call 911.
where can people get more information or talk with you?
So additional information, you can definitely call up to us at the fire department, 613-283-5869, extension 0 gets you into the fire hall. You can go onto the town website under emergency services, I think is where we're listed now. There will be some information on different fire prevention brochures and pamphlets. You can always reach out to myself, jsmith@smithsfalls.ca. Some of the other websites I can refer you to is nfpa.com. NFPA is really great for information on multiple degrees of fire safety brochures, especially for adults and stuff. There's some kid-friendly stuff on there as well. But for your family and kids that want coloring books and different activities to do at home, sparky.com is another one, is a really good resource for different information too.
Thank you for taking the time to talk with me today. I am glad we can help people understand the importance of having a smoke detector.
Well, thank you, Robbie, for allowing me to be here today.
I'm so glad you brought up the cell phones, because that seems to be a really big issue again. It's raised its head. It's in the media an awful lot too, that people are plugging their cell phones in overnight. So is it too long and they're putting it under their pillows? It's just so unsafe.
Yeah, the problem is with some of the cell phones, with the new lithium batteries and stuff, you can overcharge things, and then not to be disrespectful, but there's cheaper products out there now, right? You got your power block.
Yeah.
Again, they're not ULC'd. If you go and buy them at some places, you think you're getting a great deal, and you spend a little bit of money and go, hey, I got this new cord for my cell phone and I got a new power block. Well, some of those things are sneaking through and they're not ULC'd or CSA approved. So they're like, yeah, these are great. And then there's the fast charging of the batteries, which, everybody's like, normally it slowly charges overnight, where now they can fast charge them within an hour or 2 hours. So your poor battery's heating up and cooling down, heating up, and eventually they'll break down.
Right. And
Yeah.
it's like you say, there's a memory in there, so you're messing with it right now
Yeah,
too,
exactly.
sort of thing. Yeah. Can you talk about fire extinguishers, when we should use it? Some people have them, or when should we say, okay, that's too big, we got to call 911?
Yeah. So if you've been trained and you're comfortable with using a fire extinguisher, we always recommend, if you can use it and still make sure you can safely egress out of where the fire is, great. If you don't know how to use the fire extinguisher, you've never had a chance to use one, don't use it. Close the door behind you, get out, call 911, and allow us to go in and extinguish the fire properly.
Because it surprises me, like when I've had the training too, they only go off for 10, 15 seconds and then you're done. So don't try and be a hero.
Yeah, no, exactly. And some of them, to be honestly, you might have a little guy, you see like a little 1 or 2 pounder, and people think they can put out a lot of fire with that. Well, not necessarily. Like, sometimes you might not have a properly sized extinguisher for the space or fire that you're trying to put out.
Right.
A lot of times it will help suppress the fire, an extinguisher.
Mm-hmm.
May not always put it out for you.
Right.
So.
Right. And I'm glad you mentioned that smoke detectors expire too.
Yes, they do.
They do. Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. They need to be replaced 10 years. You also have your carbon monoxide, and they need to be replaced at 7 years.
At 7 years.
Yes.
These are all good pointers to keep us safe. And I did get mine in the mail last week.
Excellent. That's what
it's full of information.
It is, and it's it's a quick way to get information out. And like I say, we did hit 4,500 households this year in Smiths Falls, and I think some of the rural townships actually got our flyer this year too. You're welcome. Education is the key.
Absolutely. Yeah, when we know better, we do better.
Exactly.
That's right. Well, thank you
right.
very much for coming here today, Jason Smith, Lieutenant Jason Smith from our Smith Falls Fire Department. Thanks for joining us today and keeping us safe.